I received ECWCS Generation 3 about 2 months ago, and they're excellent. I mean, they're 200% better than the ECWCS we had before. They're great. I think the modular system is awesome because, especially if you're wearing body armor, that fits real tight to your body, and it's hard to wear big bulky things like we had to wear before with our ECWCS. So the 7-layer system allows you to really mix and match to what's necessary so that you can achieve optimal performance and stay warm and comfortable and alive. Silk weights are great. They're loose, which I like. They allow a lot of airflow. They're really good at wicking sweat away from your body. The most important thing about wearing clothing, especially the cold weather clothing, is that it doesn't obstruct your movement when you're trying to do operations or you're trying to work with your hands or run somewhere. So it does a real good job of that because it's thin and it does an excellent job keeping you warm as well.
It helped us out because the climate in Afghanistan is so much different than it is here. I mean, just drastically different. We were in the Chalkay Valley in Afghanistan. You know, during the day, it's 120, 130, 140, depending on where you are in that AO, or in that area. And at night, it drops to 65, 70. You know, as soon as the sun goes down, you're freezing, right? So you're looking at these things that aren't going to necessarily keep your body temperature at 120 degrees, but they're going to give you that advantage. As soon as the sun goes down, all your heat goes away, you have something to put on. Like our green fleeces that we got, those things. I was never without those things because the winter time, it's a lot like it is here. It's constantly snowing. So you're going from 140 in the middle of summer, you know, and it rained every now and then, to winter where it's maybe 35, 40 degrees, raining and snowing. So I mean, using the different cold weather items. I mean, some days it's 35 degrees and it's raining. The other days it'll be 20 degrees and it's snowing. So I mean, you have to be able to fluctuate, you know, your body temperature so you can still do your mission, whereas at the same time not getting too hot or not getting too cold, you know, which in turn, you know, you run the risk of dehydration, you know, cold weather injuries, things like that. During the winter, depending on where you are in Afghanistan, you either have snow and Fort Drum conditions or you have just rain, right? And it lasts anywhere from, you know, the 1st of December to March, you know, I mean, so it's really long, a lot like it is here in New York. But the locals, right, you could set your watch by the locals in Afghanistan, well, the enemy locals, I should say. As soon as it gets cold outside, you know, they're not moving because they figure, you know, it's cold. Why am I going to go out in it? It's kind of ridiculous. So they think they're going to bank off of us not coming out on mission because it's too cold. We're 10th Motown. We live constantly in this stuff, you know, so we would sit out on our overwatching positions for weeks, you know, perfectly content other than the fact you haven't had a shower, just sitting, you know, just as warm as can be. And you see, you know, the average local coming by, just wrapped up as much as he can be in his sheet, just shivering. I'm good. We'll stay for a while, you know. So it deterred a lot of people from actually doing anything crazy. I mean, we had a lot of guys during the warmer months. They would try to infiltrate from Pakistan. They would bounce from Pakistan to Afghanistan, just back and forth, because they know we can't go into Pakistan, you know, and detain these guys or, you know, engage these guys in any way. So they would wait, you know, and try to come through in the wintertime. What's going on? It's -20 and there's 50,000 Americans still here, all wrapped up and warm. Why is this happening? So I mean,
I like them a lot more than the Gen 2s. A lot more comfortable and easy to wear. Silk weights are great. Usually sleep in them. That's how comfortable they are. And usually, on the warmer days, I'll usually just wear the silk weights and the outer shell. Well, the grid fleece is great because, especially it's better than the old polypros, it actually fits. I like the half zip on the grid fleece, and it's usually those two pieces, the grid fleece and the silk weights, are usually all I wear, because those are warm enough for most days. The green fleece is good for indoor work or light outdoor work, because you can wear it as an outer layer. It also has the green fleece has the Velcro on it for the name tapes, so I like that.
It's been very beneficial in the sense that I can wear what suits the mission at that time. I know, like, I wear the silk weights a lot of the time under my ACUs. I say when I have to stand in formation and a jacket isn't required, I can just slip those silk weights on, run under my ACU top, and keep warm. A lot of the times I'm working outside in maintenance on vehicles, so it's good to have the fleece on. You know, it's something light. It doesn't decrease my mobility. I can still move around. It's not a big, bulky jacket, so it's been very beneficial to me in my job.
Being up in the gunner's hatch, the wind is just horrible. Your face would be burned. You get wind burns on your, like, you'd have the wind blowing up your sleeves, so we wore the silk weights a lot. They're so light and so thin, you really don't feel them on. It doesn't interfere with your vest, wearing the vest. Don't interfere with moving around. In our turrets, we had smoke canisters on one side, our weapons on the other side, our primary weapon in front, so there's a lot of things going on. It didn't stop us from moving at all. We were only issued 2 pairs, and we went on a lot of missions, so sometimes they would still be in the wash whenever they say, hey, we're leaving, so couldn't wear them. Sometimes we'd go without them, and it was just a bad day. You'd be up there freezing. You'd have to jump into the vehicle for a minute or so trying to warm your hands up and everything. Just a horrible day if you weren't wearing silk weights. And when we were back on the FOB, we were, actually it was mandatory, we wore the fleeces.
I was in AIT in Fort Lee, and I believe it hadn't snowed there in a long time, but ironically, the year I was there, it snowed like 8 inches, a lot. So I wore that actually all the time because no other bigger jacket other than the Gore-Tex was authorized. So I wore that the silk weight, the Poly Pro, under my uniform every day, and it actually kept me pretty warm, believe it or not. And me being in Germany, it's very cold. It's very cold down there, and I'm actually up higher in the air whenever I'm riding on the planes with my parachute system on, and I actually wear it in underneath my parachute system, the silk weight, and it actually helps me out. It keeps me warm in the plane, and vice versa. When it's actually hot in the plane, it actually keeps me cooler as well, because the sweat, with me sweating, it actually, you know, it keeps me cooler. Well, I've worn the fleece in Germany. I didn't wear it in AIT, but I wore it in Germany, and it's a great piece of gear for me. We like I said, it put my nameplates on, my rank, and it's actually very comfortable and warm. So.
I like the undershirt because it has more maneuverability than the original Poly Pros. Keeps you warm. It's less under my actual ACU top, so that's my favorite part, is the maneuverability with the smaller shirt. Out at the range, if it starts raining, you know, the Gore-Tex itself keeps you extremely dry. The fleece and the undershirt keeps you warm. And it's really easy to move around in, especially under the IBA, and so it's a great product.